Okay, we have one more question in the Q&A, which I'm going to ask. I'll start, but I'll ask each of you if you have any comment you want to make. What is one habit or capability that HR professionals need to unlearn? We're so focused on what we need to do. Curious if you have thoughts on what HR professionals need to stop doing. I think the one thing I've seen is, separate from the pandemic, but more as we've seen the HR model, operating model transition, it's really hard for HR folks to stop doing what they used to do for people. So even as HR shared services organizations has evolved, if you have relationships with different people in your groups, they may be coming to you for something that's not part of your job anymore. And rather than turn them away or not meet their need, you're still doing that. And I think the thing that HR folks need to do in order to make these new models work, especially in a hybrid situation, is to be able to say no and to redirect them and help them get the help that they need from the right resource. And that's just going to make the whole model work better. Anybody else with a thought there? Brad?
Yeah, I think one thing we've heard in some of the work we've done is, I think one of the habits that HR has actually broken during the pandemic has been this notion of everything needs to be entirely 100% buttoned up perfect before we roll something out. And I think we've heard that HR has been forced to be much more agile, to move quickly, to put out solutions that are maybe 80% good enough, not perfect. And I think that's actually a good development for the function. I think we've seen transformation, we've seen developments that probably in normal times would have taken years, if not decades, transpire in the last 18 months. So hopefully that's kind of broken one habit and maybe has created a positive development, for the field.
Well,
Go ahead, Becca.
No, I was just going to jump in and add to what Brad said. So just in a conversation, the other day I had a discussion about organizations involving employees and people managers in some of those processes, in working out the kinks and figuring out how are these practices and processes actually going to look? Are they a good fit? And what are some of the problems we can anticipate with them? So making it more of a working process versus, like Brad said, kind of all buttoned up, here's the solution.
I think from the turnover standpoint, in some of the conversations I've had, it is either explicitly said or it just seems that some companies are pinning attrition and turnover problems on HR as if it's HR's issue to deal with or to manage. And clearly it's not. It's the organization's problem. It's hiring manager's problem. It's the labor market's problem. It's a host of factors that HR maybe can, provide insights on and advise on. But certainly HR itself shouldn't feel the burden to solve turnover problems.